Yeah man, you know the thing going on. One West badness. Know the thing already. Yo, night attack. Yeah, Z. Black party chip, long grass clip, belly full one for shit. Fat grass me chip, select cap for shift to blood clot, it is the pan shot to clip. Me could hear we wave the ras clap blicky. Mini care with tape reverse cartridges. Bad man village, rank charges become hard to win. I saw me kill a them ball. Gun in a hand pan, each got them hole. Be a tall rifle, we bring a 10-fold. Them blood class scope, ya looking at them soul. Now make we bring a dead toll. Up with the food, now make it in a them coal. Tell me such in for the thing I get cold. If me circle again, me say skin I get poor. Hey, black family, a goddamn village, we not damn silly. Factory Babylon not billing, so fuck them system, a bad man living. Racks not chilling, unfeed the money than man willing. Don't come here with your wrong bang living. Him rape little pitney, we map that killing. Black party chip, long grass clip, belly full one for shit. Fat grass me trick, select car for shift to blood clot, the tip, the punch shot, the clip. Me could hear we wave the ras clap flicky. Mini care with tape reverse cartridges. Bad man village, rank charges become hard to win. Them a say heart of war. Hey, we a say laws of God. No fear though living on me heart, bad man. Just like King David, we not stop bad. And we no talk long. Yeah, this one way so can't walk on land. My act say we no fi spear not one. Me general no man a ras madman. Hey, the goddamn kill it. We march come for your dopey past that gimme. One like who no dark and wicked. That when decrease your chance of living. Them a pussy, them soft and timid, but UPK can't stop winning. Right now we the laugh and chilling, but when war begin we not stop killing. Black party chip, long grass clip, belly full one for shit. Fat grass me chip, select car for shit. To blood clot it is the pan shot to clip. Me could hear we wave the ras clap blicky. Mini care with tape reverse cartridges. Bad man village, rank charges become arguing. I saw me kill a them ball. Gun in a hand pan, each got them hole. Be a tall rifle, we bring a 10-fold. Them blood class scope, ya looking at them soul. Now make we bring a dead toll. Up with the food, now make it in a them coal. Tell me such in, say the thing I get cold. If me circle again, me say skin I get poor.
Pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like stamps and I can't let no holder lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, all they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying. This shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Circle up and stay alert. Another cop just stretch the nigga. He a demon, this that exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that open blood, then you know I'm gon' get active with you. Fuck the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers claim they spit and I ain't listening. Is it effective? If revenge was a woman, now I stroke that bitch like Jake. So Tower War, we gon' run the summer. It's gon' be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that, bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young baby. How you real trigger on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? When he saying something, I ain't hear him. This shit light. It ain't on who got the gun, it's on who gon' up that pipe first. I turn a bad situation to a game changer. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Six shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand and feed you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitchin' about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. I'm a certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow son. Yeah, this the real McCoy. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville. You feel your boy. Still up on my bread, still I think that's all that I enjoy. The way I get that boy lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game. Pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Right at it. What you talking about? Bars on.
Hear the hunger in my voice, they used to tell me to speak up. The problem was what I was saying, they couldn't keep up. Instead of moving around with some patience, they tried to speed up. It got colder than a bitter bitch, found me a way to heat up. What's a favor for a favor if we all didn't make it? Kept it 100 with everybody, but they just gon' change. I ain't get caught up in the hype, cause I ain't feel like I made it. Couldn't picture me here now, but here's your moment to frame it. And I ain't never understand that self-entitlement spirit. I felt your vibe, I don't wanna get near it. Before I made the appearance, I took a second, took a look in the mirror. This God, Lord, the only thing that I fear. Y'all got me fucked up. This all passion, it's tradition, it ain't fashion. It's no action, they make threats and it's still passing. I think massive, no respond, that's still tact. Y'all should quit rapping. Cheap shots, I'm cinematic. I ain't average, I'm an overthrow fanatic. How I go, you lose and win like asthmatics. I got first, that's automatic. I'm the best in my division. In the ghetto like the pigeons, in the hood like the engine. You a bird for that chicken. I don't fake split decisions cause my mind made up, nigga. We in the end of time, but my time ain't up, nigga. I was young and running wild and wide-eyed like a cabbage patch. I had to get it as vivid, adapted to my habitat. It's certain shit I won't do, certain shit you can't prove. My shit sound like a payday, yours like more when the rent. If I had $1 for every dime you counted, I would be broke. Watch it be close, got a better chance, boxing the ghost. And they know I'm raw, and they know the squad, and I'm feeling large, still in charge. I don't make it follow, I follow the law. Standing tall like they hear on Mars. I just got a call from my bro, he behind the wall, he told me let it off. Niggas lying for some cat, I got a different line in me. Everybody intimidated, I got that God in me. You get focused on them dimes, I'd rather keep my nine with me. Help me get this off the ground, just know you won't fly with me now.
I try and make the news, I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' be the living. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home with the truth, I ain't never had to choose.
I'm trying to get beamed up, man, y'all try and make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up, man, y'all try and make the news. I ain't playing by the rules. I've been trying to play it cool, but that ain't gon' pay the bill. Y'all out here looking like fool. Home of the truth, y'all ain't never had to choose. Trying to get beamed up.
We still here, still standing. UPK, we never left the building. Commander General YAHANNA, you know. Wow. Check it out. Rolling to America. Seize everything and bring these crackers to their knees. I need everything and I do mean everything. I know they don't like us. Go ahead and try us. Don't make me call upon the Lord and put this earth on fire. I'm only getting better and I'm only getting higher. And you are getting weaker. That's why you cannot beat us. I know you do not like us. We don't like you neither. You went against the grain. You should be ashamed. You went against a king. Let's just call it treason. Can't wait for killing season. All that shit that you be preaching. Let me see if you believe it. They say they can't be touched. Well, I'm about to put my hands on them. No more missing nice guy. I gave that spirit up. Lord, give me strength so I can tear this city up. Babylon is falling, but it's just not fast enough. Angels with a nigga, so you niggas cannot touch. Ooh, this shit not adding up. Fucking raise it up. Listen to them devils while you let them guess you.
Hey, listen, brothers and sisters, man. If you like what you hear, hit the subscribe button, man. Subscribe to this channel. And also, please, go to isupk.com and pay your tithe. Drop me some cash so we can move around this planet like we need to, man, and do the things we need to do.
They're one West. They're one West. They're one West.
Testing. We ready. Hey, Shalom, Yahweh, Hashem, Yeshai, Barakatham to all the brothers, Yahweh, Shema, Alatham, Hashem, Yahshai, to all the sisters, priests and officer 1000s, Abaja of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. Started out 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. And this is another I.S.U.P.K. Toronto law class. We're streaming on Instagram today, YouTube, and Facebook. Make sure you pay your tithes and subscribe to all ISUPK social media. Just all you got to do is go on any social media and just type in ISUPK and the name of your city, state, or province, right? But more than likely just ISUPK in the name of your city or the abbreviation for your city, and watch that page pop up. And listen, y'all sign up and subscribe, because that's the only thing that's going to get you right. We got some comments. Let's see what's going on. Hey, Shalom Adolphus last. Shalom Thawada for tuning in. Right, so today we're going to be doing a class. Today's class is what? Now, next to Christianity, and this is just my opinion, right? Loving the oppressor is the biggest poison next to Christianity for Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, right? No matter what we do, or I'll say it like this, no matter what they do to us, we are taught you got to love them devils. The devils don't love you. And I got a few articles today where two of them we're going to go into showing how the devil doesn't love you. You can't love a devil. A devil is not going to love you. It's like when I hear people say you got to love your oppressor or the Caucasian people, it's like, damn, like what kind of dope are you on? And then I remember the dope is called Christianity. It's one of the worst drugs for our people. That's why I said next to Christianity, loving our oppressors is poison. It's like one of the next biggest poisons, right? Like they'll unalive us, and the family members of the brother who's unalived are getting up and hugging this damn mayo mutt. They're hugging this cave devil, a cave Becky in the court. The bailiff is stroking her hair. The judge is coming down and hugging her. Again, Christianity is a poison, and loving our oppressor is our oppressor does not love us, right? So if you're watching, make sure you like the video, thumb up the video, right? Share it on all platforms. That's what you got to do. 1 second. Let me see if I can share this. Hold up. I can. All right. I can share it to everywhere. Good night. I forgot about that. That Instagram is different. The Instagram is definitely different. Right? You cannot love your oppressors. And I know people will tell you, especially the pastor. Listen, the pastor will tell you love your oppressor while they're in the church celebrating Christmas. And it's like, damn, how? Like, make it make sense. How are you in the church celebrating Christmas, but love your oppressor? Right? It doesn't make sense. I'm just sharing this on Instagram a little to some of my different followers on Instagram, so bear with me just a little. Hold up. I'm almost done. Bear with me. I'm almost done. Okay, that should be. I shared it a few times. So as you come in, like the video, share it to everybody, right? That's what you want to do. Share these tapes, share these videos to all your family and friends. And we're going to get into it. And hopefully by the end of this, Lord allow, by the end of this tape, you'll understand that you cannot love your oppressors. So make sure you pay your tithes, right? So I just wanted to get into this first video. I'm going to share my screen. 1 second. I got to go and share my screen. We're going to get into this first video, right? Where are we at with it? Here. Listen, StreamYard set it up where I remember when I first got on StreamYard, I used to be sharing clips and not knowing how to share the damn clip with the audio. And now StreamYard made it so you can share the clip with the audio. Like it's already there. You don't have to click the button if you've already clicked it before. That is amazing. All right, so let's get into it.
How about allowing people to come to an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers, many of them murdered far more than 13,000 of which were murderers, many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
So look, he's referring to the criminals and the murderers. We're fair on this show. But saying we got a lot of bad.
All right, bear with me. I'm rocking and rolling, right? We rocking and rolling, and we going. Now, listen, this man, Donald Trump, said bad genes for the migrants. And what's he talking about? He's talking about our Hispanic brothers and sisters coming over. They're saying they're committing crime. He's talking about the Haitians coming over. And he's saying they're committing crime and they're murderers. And they've come to America and committed murder. Now, if you're Black, Hispanic, and Native American, and you're listening to this, you're like, what the hell is this man talking about? How is the pot calling the kettle black? That's a saying I'm quite sure y'all have heard before, right? And it's a idiot thing that he's saying that Hispanic people are coming into America and they're just murderers. It's in their genes. I'm going to play it again, right? And who's he talking to, though? Like, that's what y'all got to understand. Who is he talking to? Right? That's what they call dog whistle. They call it dog whistle politics, right? Dog whistle politics. It's like a dog whistle is a whistle only a dog can hear. He's speaking in a way that he expects his clan brothers to hear. He expects the people who look like him to hear it. He expects people who already hate Hispanics to listen and be like, yep, you're right, they're murderers. How can a Caucasian man in America say immigrants are coming over and murdering, knowing or unaliving people, knowing the history of Caucasian people? All right, so I'm going to play this again.
Happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
So look, he's referring to the criminals and the murderers. We're fair on this show. But saying we got a lot.
1,000 of which were murderers, many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
How did that happen? Hey, Thawada, I appreciate it. Damn, I probably was out with no sound for about 3 to 4 minutes. Well, again, I'm going to read Baruch 4:1, right? And then we're going to play that clip again, and we're going to go into more of what we're doing. All right, so this is Baruch 4:1. This is the book of the commandments of God and the law that endureth forever. This law that was given to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans only. It endures forever. We got to keep this forever. It's not something where we keep it for a time, then 1,000 years later we decide to live like our oppressors. How is living like our oppressors got benefit on us? How has trying to be like every nation except for the greatest nation on earth, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, benefited us? It hasn't done anything but destroy our family. It hasn't done anything but see our sisters be abused, our children be abused, our brothers and our brothers are filling up the jails left, right, and center because they believe they gotta act like Caucasians to make it in society. When we have a law that endureth forever. Now listen, me being in the world when I was a young man, right? It just never worked out. I found myself in and out of these prisons. And then I decided to live like who I'm supposed to be. Zabadia ban ban yam yam. All right? In the I.S.U.P.K. And I haven't been back to jail. Right? I no longer worry if my door is going to get kicked in because of some crime I committed. Right? And that's how we're supposed to live. Now, our oppressor, his pride is through the roof. He thinks that he is God. He thinks that he does no evil when all he does is evil in the earth. He came to America and slaughtered the Native Americans, and now he says this. Right? Let me bring it right back.
How about allowing people to come to an open border, 13,000 of which were murderers? Many of them murdered far more than one person, and they're now happily living in the United States. You know, now a murderer, I believe this, it's in their genes, and we got a lot of bad genes in our country right now.
So a murderer is in their genes that they're a murderer. Well, let's go to the first recorded murder in Earth. That's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to go to the first recorded murder in Earth. And now that's not saying there weren't other people doing horrible things, but this is the first one that was recorded. It's written down and we can see it. Right? Where are we going to go to? We're going to go to Genesis, the 4th chapter. Right? And this is the spirit of our oppressor. Right? Our oppressor has been around for a long time. Listen, I know y'all want to believe the NOI and all them blackity black, I love Africa, right, people? And talk about the Y.A.P.K and the big-headed scientists who created the oppressor in a cave. And that's just not true. Right? They'll just say anything. Like a lot of people will just say anything to get your money. Y'all ain't even paying me. I ain't even trying to get your money. If anything, if you are going to donate, just know it's going not to me. I don't receive $1 from it. It's going to feed the homeless and clothe and house the homeless and the poor of us. Right? There's so many of us. Like, have you ever been to Yonge and Finch? I just want to know, if you're in Canada, if you're in Toronto, have you been to Yonge and Finch? Just walk through Yonge and Finch station. I guarantee you, you're going to see at least 3 to 4 older generation black folks who are homeless. And who's feeding them? It's not Justin Trudeau. Justin Trudeau don't even want to give drinking water to the natives. And we're going to go into that later. Right? But who's feeding the poor of us? I'll tell you who is. Commanding General YAHANNA. It's definitely not them food banks. Them food banks don't give you enough. They give you enough to last a day. But Ukraine goes to the food bank of Justin Trudeau, and they get billions. And that's to show you, again, that's another part of this topic. You can't love your oppressor because he doesn't love you. You give $8 billion to Ukraine in under 3 years, while blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans suffer. And that's not to say other people in Canada don't suffer, but all my love goes to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So that's who I predominantly speak up for. All right, so I'm going to remove this for a second. And we're going to go into, where are we? Genesis verse 1. Right? This is Genesis 4 verse 1, and I'll just give you the context real quick. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, right? And she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. Right? Verse 2. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was the keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. Right? So let's keep going. Verse 3. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground and offered an offering unto the Lord. So this is letting you know we've been offering offerings to the Lord, right? But what is a proper offering to the Lord? Some fruits from the ground? Listen, Cain damn near getting the fruits that fell off the tree and trying to offer it. It's not really a sacrifice, right? An offering is a sacrifice, something that you need, but you do away with it and give it to the men of the Lord, or give it to the Lord because it's something that you're showing obedience, right? One would say love, but I'm going to say you're showing obedience in offering these sacrifices. And now let's keep reading. And Abel, he also bought of the firstling of his flock and of the fat thereof, right? Now, bringing the firstling of a flock is far greater than bringing the first of, or the fruits of the ground, right? Because a flock, you gotta to tend to an animal and raise it up and then give it for a sacrifice. That hurts because it takes time to raise up an animal. There's a lot you got to go through. You have a calf, a young calf, and you're raising it into a adult cow or a heifer, and it's going to take a long time. There's so many things you're going to have to do to make sure that this calf grows up, especially listen, I watch these videos of cows where they are on the farm and they might step on a stone because the bottom of their hoof is soft, and that stone gets pushed into the soft part of their hoof, and the nail or the hoof goes over the stone and it creates an abscess, a hole. And these farmers got to go and slice up that hoof and damn near get drenched in pus. Good night. To make sure that cow doesn't get infected and die on him. And then you go sacrifice it to the Lord. The Lord is going to appreciate that sacrifice or that offering. Let's keep reading. But unto Cain, this is verse 5, but unto Cain, one second. Let's finish 4 again. Salakia. This is Genesis 4, verse 4. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings. So Abel did this too, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. The Lord didn't respect Cain's offering. It was just fruit. What was it? It was nothing. It's like, what are you doing? Who are you giving that to? Right? And this is a cut to you fake Israelites, right? Y'all fake Israelites be saying stuff like, you gotta go and give the priests bread and corn, and if you grow apples, go give them 10% of the apples that you got. Good night. That is not tithes. What are the priests going to do with apples? They could get a bunch of apples and then they're not able to give it away in time and the apples rot. What are they going to make? Cider? No, the priests don't need your apples. Take those apples and trade them and get money and give it to the priest. Don't give it to men like TD Jakes. Don't give it to men like Creflo Dollar. Don't give it to men like what's that effeminate brother that's always doing those dances that the sisters do on stage, man. Kurt Franklin, right? Don't give it to Kurt Franklin because damn, Kurt Franklin ain't gonna do nothing but take your money and go spend it on some compound that has its own zip code, right? But if you want to see what happens to your money when you give it to Commanding General YAHANNA, 1 second, let me see if I could show you what exactly happens to your money when you give it to Commanding General YAHANNA. Hold up, I believe I have it here somewhere. Yeah, it gotta be here somewhere. It was here. I just gotta find it. Give me a second. Bear with me. See if I can find this thing. I believe this is it. Exactly. Bear with me a moment. I'm gonna find it. Hey, Barak, if you still watching, Shalom, Yahweh Shem Shai, Barakatah. Barak, if you still watching, can you find me any one of the giveaways that we've done, the clothing drives, the food drives, and just put it in the private chat for me? So I'm gonna still look for it now just in case you're not watching. But if you are, put it in the private chat for me, Baba Kwashah. Hold up. Let me see if I could find it. All right, I'm going to come back to that. Y'all bear with me one moment. I'm going to come back to this in a second. Hold up. I found one of them. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I found one of them. I'm going to look for the other one. Hey, look. Here we go. Right? They went to the McDougal projects. Hold up. All right. I'm going to find it for you. I got 2 videos I'm going to play real quick. The men of the Lord under Commanding General YAHANNA went to the McDougal projects, right? The McDougal projects, and they gave out food and clothing. Because that's what we do with the tithes money. We don't buy a Benz, man. Listen, I love a Benz, but I'm not going to take the tithes money and buy the Benz. Commanding General YAHANNA is not going to take your tithes money and buy a Benz. He's going to pay rent for the poor folks. He's going to house the poor folks. He's going to clothe the poor folks. Right?
I'm surrounded by the fragrance in your memory. Yes, I try to, I just can't let it be. Who knew an apparition would put me in this position? I tried to build a future, there was a demolition. What a mirage when there ain't Taj. I'm the shell of a man that I once was. Bright days but dark nights, so loud like a nightclub. I'm supposed to maintain. I lost you to myself. You can never feel what I felt after.
I never knew that I loved a girl. Just leave. Why did you go? I never knew that I loved a girl. Where did you see? What did you want? Although inside we could never grow.
The death of me came about very suddenly. Was a fast climb that crashed and burned like a third degree. I see, enough's enough for the revenant. You're the angel of my illusion and you're only heaven sent. In that dim closet we all got our skeletons. No mistake that I'm better than trying to be a better man. Straight scared, emotions can never be spared. When you vanish once and for all into thin air. Love is war, not again. I lost you to myself. You can never feel what I felt, the aftermath when the cars
Why did you leave? Why did you go? I never knew that I loved a girl. What did you see? What did you want?
That's one of them. Let me show you the next one. And now that is just one of the events, of the many events that we do around the world in feeding our folks. And listen, none of us are millionaires, and that's it. That's the next part. You got to understand this, right? None of us are millionaires by far. Here's the next one.
Looking for Christ, man.
I'll let y'all watch this for a second,
it with
and I'm
the
going to get
Lord,
back to the
with
breakdown.
Spirit of the Lord to do his will. I'm that nigga.
One West, 125th Street. Look, y'all put y'all faith in presidents like they gon' change this country. Run the league and let y'all play cause y'all gon' make a money. Fuck Obama, he ain't come here on Congo.
American honor don't like no soldiers. The spirit of the Lord, we don't like no soldiers.
Black, Hispanic, Native, they hate y'all as the same. Hate crazy. They image, paint you as a slave. God ain't all love. Scriptures say he hate African soft niggas. They know we not the same. School to prison pipeline to get you off the streets. Put you in the cell toilet connected to the saint. Molested as a kid, she prostituted as a teen. The byproduct of Martin Luther King's dream. They just took the yoke off, my nigga, we ain't free. We live in bleak in these wastelands of poverty. If you don't know the truth, then the lie sound promising. Prophecy, gifting the curse. Dylan started killing, they was sitting in church. Black folk forgave him, man, it's absurd. You should never love your enemy, that shit ain't gonna work. Yeah, fuck dying on your knees, you better die in glory. Man, I joined the UPK, taught me the art of warring. I took a nigga life like mine to be recognized. I feel that pain every day, it can't be reconciled. Pops banging, my sister a prostitute. My brother got life, and somehow I still found the truth. War ready, no cowards, no excuse. Fuck reparations, you can't bandage no open wounds. Blood on the leaves, body swing hung from a noose. I was on a run in Nashville and I found the truth. I called the school, classes being held by the shock on my life. I want to be a gangster like a cop. Do this for my brothers, real brotherhood. Everything we do, we got it out this book. My nigga, I can never be no African. UPK the only authorized acronym. I'm passionate about my brothers and sisters. We in hell, I ain't got nothing against them. That's another religion. If it ain't under YAHANNA, ain't he murdered by them and got a hug from YAHANNA. That's the way out for a coward in my observation. They don't fear the Lord, they indoctrinated. Wolves in sheep clothing, Joe Osteen. Real priest bringing back black royalty. One West on my headpiece, rank and order. Can't let them trick me off the streets, I gotta raise my daughter. I got brothers at the border ducking ice agents. I got the name gotta raise my daughter. I got
Hold up. All right, y'all see that? Y'all see that right there? All right. This is in New York, where the men of the Lord came together from all over the country, damn near all over the world, to feed the poor of us. Right? And we could do that here too. But y'all brothers and sisters need to wake up so we could do that. Right? I'm going to leave that. I'm going to remove it so you can see this is what we do with the tithes. Right? Now back to it. The Lord did not respect Abel's offering of just fruit. Right? But he did not respect Cain's offering of just fruit. Salakia. I apologize. But he respected Abel's offering. Right? So let's keep reading. Where were we? We're in the 4th chapter. This is the 4th chapter, the 5th verse. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was wroth. He was angry, and his countenance fell, right? He like, damn, what the hell am I doing? I can't do nothing right. That's how he's thinking. He's thinking, well, forget about it. If I can't please him, I just won't try to anymore. Right? And that's the spirit of our oppressor right there. Let's keep reading. Right? So now this is the Lord talking to him. If thou doest well, thou shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sinneth lieth at the door, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Right? Now, if you don't understand this, listen, you can't let your sin win. You let your sin win, and you're going to let your sin rule over you. Your demons take over, and your demons are going to tell you what you have to do, and that's how you're going to live your life. Right? And that's how you are going to live your life. Let's keep going. Where are we? This is verse 8, Genesis 4, verse 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field. All right, so now Cain's talking to his brother. They're in the field. That Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. This spirit of Cain is the spirit of Edom today. Right? This spirit of Cain is the spirit of Edom today. And on top of that, that spirit is the same spirit that was in the garden, the serpent. Right? Now, who's Caucasian people today? Right? I just told you that spirit that was in Cain is in Edom. Who are Caucasian people? Well, Caucasian people today, biblically, are the Edomites. They are the tribe of Edom. The Romans printed coins and called themselves Idumea, right? Which is damn near Greek for Edom. So let's show you who Edom is, because this is this spirit of unaliving people. Trump said, like, damn, he said killing is in their genes. They have bad genes. Well, if murdering is in the migrants' genes, in our brothers and sisters' genes, for damn sure, murdering got to be in the Caucasian man's genes. That's what he does. We just watched Putin drop bombs on Ukraine for damn near 2 years, right? We seen what happens when Caucasians don't like you. October 8th, October 9th, October 10th can show you and tell you what happens when Caucasians don't want you. They go to the extreme Listen, a Caucasian is not just going to, he could be angry with, and I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but he could be angry with one brother, right? Remember Neam, what's that? What's Taken's name? Neam Leeson, right? I don't know how to pronounce that devil's name. But the guy who plays the dad in Taken, right? He came out and said he heard a story about one of his friends getting abused. And the story was a brother abused her. A black man abused her. And he said he grabbed his hatchet and ran into the streets. And he just wanted to unalive any black person he saw. Any nigga he saw, he wanted to unalive. And that should let you know that is exactly the spirit of our oppressor. I did a history class like a few years ago. Jack Johnson was knocking out Caucasians in the boxing ring in legally sanctioned boxing fights. Caucasians hated this. They started the Red Summer of 1919 and went on mass murders while they ran through black towns and cities and unalived us at an alarming rate. Right? Let's get rid of that. That is the spirit of our oppressor. Let's go to Genesis 25. We're going to start at Genesis 25. We're just going to go through a bunch of scriptures, right? And then I'm going to go into my next article, which will show you exactly why you can't love your oppressor. Loving your oppressor is crazy. Like, that's like, y'all tell me y'all trying to love your oppressor is like when women say, I'd rather the bear than the man, right? If you tell me you love your oppressor, I'm going to tell you, why don't you just go onto Snake Island and go try to make friends with one of those snakes. One of those snakes on Snake Island off the coast of Brazil, go there and try to love one of those snakes and see how that works out. That's how you should look at loving your oppressor. Right? Salakia, give me one moment. All right, we're back. That's how you're supposed to look at loving your oppressor. Let's get to Genesis. Try to speed it up just a little. Yeah, so we're on some good timing. We're definitely on some good timing right now. 25. Hold up. 25, verse 23. All right, so we got 25, verse 23, right? And the Lord, one second. All right, so let's give you a little context, because with everything you got to get the context. So verse 20 is the context of what we're going to read, right? So this is Genesis 25, verse 20. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian, of Padan Aram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian, the sister to Laban, the Syrian. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, right? So Isaac went to the Lord about his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived, right? Let's keep reading. And the children struggled together within her. And right, so she's feeling in her stomach it's concerning, right? The feeling that's in her stomach right now or in her womb is concerning. So she went to the men of the Lord. Let's see what happens. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be So why am I thus? Right? She's like, if I'm supposed to have these children, why am I feeling this way? And any woman is going to say this if she's going through a situation where she feels like something is not right with her pregnancy. Right? That's why all sisters, when even with Mary, when she was pregnant with Christ, right? She was told she would be covered by the Spirit of the Lord. That's just basically asking for protection while you're going through this pregnancy. And the Lord said unto her, so she went to the men of the Lord, and the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Now, that's interesting, because those are brothers and sisters. And you're reading, it says 2 nations are in thy womb. That means the Lord could choose who he wants to make a nation out of. The Lord could choose who he wants, right? So whatever your Christian pastor is telling you, God loves everybody, that's not true. Because if God loved everybody, he wouldn't have made 2 nations in one womb. Where are we? And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder shall serve the younger. Right? So the oldest is going to end up serving the younger. This is a prophecy that was given to Rebecca. Right? And this is what you got to remember. You got to remember this for when we keep reading a little later. Right? Let's keep going. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's. Oh, Salakia. Wait, let's keep reading. Let's skip the whole 2 verses, right? All right, so let's go down to 25. We'll jump 1 verse. And the first came out red, all over like a hairy garment. Now, I just want to know, who does that sound like that's describing to you? The first one came out red and hairy, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. Now, just listen, tomorrow when you're on your slave, just look at these Caucasians a little closely. Like, don't make it too obvious, right? But just look, you're going to see they are a hairy people. And when they get angry or they are embarrassed, they become red. Their blood shows through their skin. That is the mark that was put on Cain. Because Cain shed blood, his blood shows through his skin. Right? And this happens to Esau as well. Right? Listen, Caucasians call us color, but they turn all sorts of colors. Good night. Where are we? Verse 26. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. Right? Jacob later has sons, and they become the 12 tribes of Israel. And Isaac was, okay, we could drop that, right? Let's go to 27. And the boys grew, right? So they're growing up. They're in the same household. And Esau was a cunning hunter. Doesn't that sound like your oppressor right now? A cunning hunter? Y'all ever go and watch those videos of them hunting, and they will look like trash? Or they'll look like a whole shrub of bush. And then out of nowhere, you see that bush move, and you're like, oh, damn, I didn't even know that was a person. That is the spirit of Esau. That is Caucasians. They will sit up in a tree for hours. They'll put a whole little picnic chair up in a tree and sit up there for hours just to hunt a bear, a deer, or anything with a pulse. A black man, an Hispanic, a Native American, right? Let's keep reading. And a man of the field. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents, right? Let's keep going. Where are we going to jump down to? All right, so I know where we're going next. I'm going to finish out this verse because there is, within this verse, you're going to see like all sides of, as we keep reading, all sides of this oppressor. And we need it so for when we continue later, right? And Jacob sod pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. Right? Esau coming in like he exaggerated. You know, the oppressor always got to exaggerate. I feel like I'm gonna die right now if I don't eat. Right? I'll show you where he says this. And Esau said to Jacob, "Feed me, I pray thee, with the same red pottage, for I am faint." Right? He's talking about he's not feeling well. He feels like he's going to faint. Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die." Like he's capping. He capping. He's not going to die. But Jacob knows his brother. And again, remember, it was a prophecy that the eldest shall serve the younger. Right? And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do me?" Right? Esau don't. You ever notice Edomites? They don't give a damn about nothing until somebody else wants it. Right? Think about it like this: Black people were partying in the park in the Bronx and running extension cords from apartments, hooking up boombox and turntables, 2 turntables, and scratching and mixing and having a party. And they called that music ghetto. They said it was ghetto music for Black folks and Hispanics. But when Esau seen they can make money off of it, they turned around and said it's theirs now. And Eminem is the greatest rapper of all time. Good night. It's a horrible thing what Edomites do. Where are we? And Jacob said, "Swear to me." This is Genesis 25, verse 33. And Jacob says, "Swear to me this day." And he swore to him. And he sold his birthright to Jacob. Right? Esau sold his birthright. He didn't want it. He just wanted that red pottage. Right? So we finish out the chapter. Jacob gives him his birthright. Esau gives Jacob his birthright. Right? And even in the ending, it says, this is the ending of verse 34. It says, "Thus Esau despised his birthright." Right? He didn't give a damn about it. He couldn't understand what it meant. He despised it. He did not want it. Right? So let's keep going we're going to go to Genesis 27 and verse 1. No, Genesis 27 and 40. Actually, we're going to start at 32. And Isaac, his father, Salakia. All right. So this is a time when Isaac, Jacob's father, he's becoming old. He's getting older now. And he's about to bless his sons. That's the context of what we're reading. He's about to bless his sons. Esau was his favorite son because Esau hunted. Right? Esau brought those steaks and those venison burgers and ooh-wee. All right? Where are we reading? We're reading 32. Actually, all right, so in this context, what we're reading is Esau gives his birthright away, right? Now, Isaac goes and gets it from Jacob. Let's just see where we're going to read from. All right. For context, Jacob's mother helps him get the birthright. We're going to read it right here. Where is it? And Jacob said, "And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in thy house, and put it upon Jacob, her younger son." Right? So she puts that on him. She also gets him to damn near wear lambskin. I believe it was lambskin. Let's see if I could find it. So lucky. This headpiece keeps falling off. Where are we? And his mother said unto him, this is verse 13 in 27. Upon me be thy curse, my son, only obey my voice and go fetchest them therein. He went in and fetched and brought them to his mother, and his mother made a savory meat as his father loved. Rebecca, right? So Rebecca took the garment and put it on him, verse 16. And she put the skins of the kids of the goat upon his hands and upon the smooth of his cheek. Because Esau was a hairy man, right? Let's jump down now to 32 so you can understand what's happening. Or we'll jump to 28. We'll jump to 26. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near me now and kiss me, my son. Right? This is after Jacob brought the food to his father. And he said, come near and kiss. And he came near and kissed him. That's verse 27. And he smelled the smell of his remnant, right? Which is a garment, and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of the field, which the Lord has blessed, right? So he's going to give him his blessing right now. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of earth and plenty of corn and wine. And let people serve thee and the nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. Now you have to remember, this is exactly what Rebekah was told, that the elder shall serve the youngest, right? And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. So let's jump down to there. And it came to pass, this is verse 30, and it came to pass as soon as Isaac had made an end of the blessing, of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out of the presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from hunting. Good, nice. So Esau came in from hunting now, right? Let's jump down. The verse previously, Esau makes a food. This is 31. And he also had made a savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let thy father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may be blessed. And Isaac said unto him, who art thou? Because Isaac's like, what are you talking about now? We already did this. Right? Salaki, I'm about to switch up this headpiece in a second. It keeps falling. Bear with me one moment. All right, we're back. Hey, shout out this amazing headpiece from Shapat Thayak. I just gotta fix it up. Listen, I've been rocking the hell out of this. This headpiece made it to a Passover. Shout out Barak Allah. Right? Again, shout out Shapat Thayak out of DC for them excellent headpieces. If you want to get one, so like I suggest you give that brother a shout. Now, where were we? And Isaac trembled. This is verse 33. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, who? Where is he that has taken venison and brought it to me? And I have eaten all before thou camest, and have blessed him. And yea, and he shall be blessed. Ooh-wee. Remember, Esau gave this blessing away to Isaac, so Isaac had to go get it. 34. When Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great, exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. Verse 35. And he said, thy brother came with subtlety and has taken away thy blessing. Right? And listen, he didn't take it away. He just went and got what was his. His brother sold it to him. And that should be a lesson to you, to everybody. Be careful what you say. The things that you say have consequences. Where are we? And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. Ooh, weird. Let's jump down to 36. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times. He took away my birthright, and behold, now he has taken away my blessing. That blessing was the birthright. And that's what Esau did not understand. He despised it. He despised his birthright, right? Like a child. You know, a child will have a toy that they have, that they just don't play with until they see another child play with it. Let's keep reading. Where are we? And Isaac answered him and said, Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given unto him for servants. Again, that was prophecy that Rebekah heard before these children were born. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, thou but one blessing, Salakia, his father, hast thou but one blessing, O my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept, because he's a baby. He's a crybaby. He's a child. You gave it away. Why are you crying about it now? That's what our oppressors do. Right? You're seeing just think about how oppressors act today. Right? And you'll understand this is the exact same way Esau was acting. Right? Isaac, his father, answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Who runs the earth right now? Who do you pay rent to right now? Right? And the answer should be obvious. The fatness of the earth was given to the Caucasian man. That's why he's running around the earth dropping bombs on everywhere. Like, who dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki? It wasn't niggas. It wasn't no Hispanics, that's for sure. And it definitely wasn't any Native Americans. 40. This is 40 in verse Genesis 25:27. And by the sword shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou have dominion, right? You look at Esau right now. Look at the Caucasian people right now. They live by the sword and have dominion over the earth. How did they get Australia? How did they get into the Caribbean islands? How did they get America and Canada? With the sword. And that's important, right? Because our brothers and sisters are on reserve right now, trying to get clean water. Esau forced them there with the sword. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. Right? The oppressor got dominion, and he didn't want to be under us no more. And now, for a time, he's been ruling the earth. And look at it. It is a horrible place to be. They say the earth has water level is rising because of the greenhouse gas, right? They say it's polluted. Well, who's polluted the earth? You got to think about it like that. The people who run the earth right now have polluted it, and the people running the earth are Edom, the Caucasians. Let's go to 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. Esau didn't like his brother. First, he sold his birthright that he despised. His birthright was the blessing, right? He sold that. He sold that birthright, man. Jacob went and got it because his mother knew what was supposed to happen. She was told this from when she was going through her pregnancy, wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, now this is the heart of the oppressor. Remember, Donald Trump said it's in their genes to murder. Well, let's see what Esau said in his genes. Remember, the spirit of Esau is the spirit of Cain. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for thy father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. He's letting you know, listen, right now we're going to mourn our father, but after that I'm going to unalive you. That's what he's saying. Right? That's exactly what he's saying. So we could drop that right there. He wanted to slay his brother. Right? Now Christ was checking the Sadducees and Pharisees at one point. And he said, you are of your father, the devil. And what did he mean by that? Well, I'm going to break that down for you right now. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to read it, and we'll break it down. Let's find it. Where we at? We need the book of John. We need the book of John. And for anybody who's reading along, we're in John 8, verse 44. Where's 8? Right? So this is John 8, verse 44. And this is Christ checking the Sadducees and the Pharisees, right? Ye are of your father, the devil. Well, who's the devil? Right? Who is the devil? The devil is Edom. It's the spirit of Cain that's flowing through the earth right now, right? When they talk about that serpent that was in the garden, that old dragon, that serpent was a man. It's not a, listen, we call people who tell on their friends rats. We call dirty cops pigs. Right? That's what we call them. Rats and pigs. We call a brother who will steal from his brother a snake ass nigga. What's a snake? A serpent. What's a serpent? A dragon, right? A reptile. We're going to keep reading. Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. Right? What is the lust of Cain? It was murder. What's the lust of all our oppressors? Murder. They get angry with one person and they want to unalive that one person, but they can never just unalive one person. They go and the whole school is unalived because this devil didn't get any nons. He didn't get any front, any love from his devilish woman, right? Cave Becky did not give little Johnny anything, and he's angry in college or in high school, and he's like, Cave Becky, you giving the whole basketball team some, the whole football team some, and I can't get nothing. Good, no, he gonna unalive everything that he sees in that school. Right? If you don't believe me, just go watch Bowling for Columbine. Right? They don't like one person and everybody gets it. Keep reading. Where are we? He was a murderer from the beginning. And what's that talking about? That's talking about in the beginning, in Genesis. And I don't mean not the disloyal group that left Sakari. Not them. Not them. I'm talking about Genesis, the beginning, their first book in the Bible. And the first murder that we've seen in that Bible was Cain killing his brother, Abel. He was a murderer from the beginning. The oppressor is the devil. Right? That's why when you read Revelations 12 and 9, and it talks about that old serpent, that dragon, it's talking about the man who was in the garden, who beguiled Eve. Right? Let's go back to Genesis. I'll show you right here. We'll show you again the beginning. Genesis 4 and 9 and 4 and 8. And Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel, his brother, and slew him. Right? That's what happened. Let's jump down. Let's jump down to 12. When thou tillest, this is his punishment. When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. That's why the oppressor needed black folks in slavery, because they don't know how to just survive on their own. The earth doesn't like them. Even the earth doesn't. Listen, killer whales, dolphins will be much happier when Israelites are in power. The shrimp, the pig, the lobster, the sea urchin is going to be much happier when the Israelites are in power. All right? When thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield unto thee her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond shall thou be in the earth. And that explains who our oppressor is. He's a fugitive, a vagabond. He runs around the earth unaliving people and just taking whatever he can. Right? Now, I got one more article I want to read. We're going to get into this article here. We'll get into this article here. Slovakia. Right? Because our oppressor is a criminal. I'm going to share this. I usually don't share the articles all the time, but today I'm going to share this article so you can see it. It's from the CBC. It came out not too long ago. Right? So if you can see the title, Canada has no legal obligation to provide First Nation with clean water, lawyer says. Ooh wee. This is the lawyer on behalf of the federal government of Canada. Hearings open in drinking water class action launched by the Shamattawa First Nation. Right? So the Shamattawa First Nation people, they launched a first action lawsuit against the Canadian government. Because again, you think about it, the Canadian government just gave away billions of dollars over the last 2 years to Ukraine, right? But they'll turn around and tell you they don't have money to search the landfills, or they don't have anybody to go operate the clean drinking water systems, and it makes no sense. There's an employment crisis in Toronto right now. You could send a bunch of us up there to train us. And listen, people, I would move up to near a reservation right now. Right? If the Canadian government's going to pay for us to run the clean facilities. Why not? What else are you going to do? Why wouldn't you go there if they're going to pay you to go run these facilities? Right? The oil people do it all the time. You'll go up there and work for 3 weeks and then come back to the city for 2 weeks and have 2 weeks off. Right? And they'll pay your board, they'll pay your flight, they'll pay whatever they can. Well, the Canadian government can do this too if they're giving away billions to Ukrainians. Like, make it make sense, right? But really, what it comes down to is the Canadian government does not like blacks, Hispanics, and especially Native Americans. That's why they're saying what they're saying now. Right, so let's keep reading. The federal government has no legal duty to ensure First Nations have clean drinking water, even if liberal ministers publicly suggest otherwise. And again, this is why you cannot put your faith in the oppressor system. There's two wings of one bird. In this case, in Canada, this bird has many wings. Like, there's so many damn parties that do nothing for people. Right? That's the defense the federal government is expected to mount in Ottawa this week in federal courts as it fights a national class action lawsuit launched by remote northern Manitoba First Nation in 2022. Right? They launched that in 2022. It's 2024. It's going to trial sooner or later. Right? The Shamattawa First Nation, which has been under a boil water advisory since 2018, right? And there's many other First Nation reservations that have been under a boil water alert. One just went off not too long ago. They said, okay, you don't have to boil water no more. Its chief, Jordana Hill, are pursuing Salaki, excuse me, brother, if I messed up your name, are pursuing the case for all First Nation members countrywide whose community was subject to a drinking water advisory in effect on or after June 20th, 2020. Right? Let's keep reading. The plaintiffs argue First Nations have a basic human right to clean water that Canada has violated, describing the conditions facing their communities as an urgent human rights crisis. Now, if you think about it, why can't the Canadian government recognize that this is a crisis? Is it because they don't believe the Native Americans aren't their people? Why they don't recognize this is a crisis? But they can recognize what's happening in Ukraine and give them money. It's a horrible thing, right? Hold up. Let me get... There's a book that we're going to go into. Salakia. Let me just find it real quick for you. Let me find it real quick. I believe it's after Ecclesiastes, what I'm looking for. Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, bear with me. Hold up, I think I'm ready. Amos. All right, so we're at Amos, verse 1, chapter 1, verse 11. Thus saith the Lord, for thy transgressions of Edom, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and 4 will I turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and its anger did tear perpetually, and kept his wrath forever. Right? And this is how we've always lived. What is going on? Hey, Shalom, Long Wong 4. What's going on with you? Right? That's how Edom has treated blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They have a perpetual hatred for us. and they go after us with the sword, right? And that's how these First Nations were placed on reservations. Let's keep reading. In its statements of defense, Canada argues the government supports the delivery of portable water for First Nations as a discretionary political decision, calling it a matter of good governance rather than legal duty. Listen, that's to let you know they hate you. They don't want you to be who we're supposed to be. These nations ultimately hate us, right? And they've conspired to do this. This is not something that they've just done out of it's a coincidence. This is conspiracy. They've conspired to do this. They've conspired to do this long before they ever came to Canada. I'm going to show you that right here, because this nation will not love you. You cannot think that these people will love you. We're reading biblical stories of Edom spirit and how they've always hated us, right? And us being Jacob, the oppressor being Esau. Let's read. This is Psalms 83, verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent, right? These nations have come together under Edom to destroy us. That's why you can see, look who they let into their country by the thousands, and now they're angry. Edom is angry that East Indians are in the country, while Caribbean people have to come into the country and work on apple farms. Let's keep reading. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, right? This is who's confederate against us, the tabernacles of Edom, the Edomites, right? The people who are in the home of Edom, they are against us, right? It also gives you other nations, but I'm gonna leave that. Let's find Obadiah. Let's find Obadiah. We're just gonna keep going through so we can show you how Edom acts towards us. And it's nothing that, listen, this shouldn't even be a surprise. The only people who are surprised are Christians when they find out the oppressor doesn't love you, right? A lot of brothers and sisters have had their heart broken thinking the oppressor is going to love you. And he's not going to do that. They're not going to love you. Y'all see Tyrese crying? Tyrese crying like a bitch because he's getting taken through the ringer. He talking about love, and nigga, you should have took a sister. You thought them Edomites were gonna love you. That is, we. Hold up. Where's Obadiah? Good night. All right, so now we got Obadiah, right? This is Obadiah, and I just want to read again what they said, right? In its statements of defense, this is from Caucasian government, called the Canadian government, right? Which is predominantly Caucasian. The government supports the delivery of portable water. Good night. The government supports the delivery of bottled water to our brothers and sisters. For First Nations as a discretionary political decision, calling it a matter of good governance rather than legal duty. So they don't believe it's their legal duty to make sure they have clean drinking water. Right? Now, we're going to read something. Where is it? 1:34. Salakia. 1:3, verse 4. It's just the way I wrote it down. It looked like 34. Salakia. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. Again, calling it a matter of good governance rather than legal duty. The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. Thou that dwelleth in the cleft of the rock, right? Whose habitation is high. that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's how these oppressors act. You're telling the people who've been in, they're telling the people who they've land they've stolen and forced their children into residential schools that you don't have to make sure they have clean drinking water. It's just good governance that we're doing. It's not a matter of legal duty. You should understand the oppressor hates you. You cannot love them. And these are supposed to be the moral, upright people who are telling you that, listen, Donald Trump's telling everybody murder is in the genes of the migrants. But he didn't say murder's in the genes of Caucasians. How could, like, one could only, like, if someone tells me murder's in the genes, my very first thought is, oh, that explains who these oppressors are. Because murder is in their genes. Let's keep going. Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, hence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. This is the Lord talking to us, letting us know he's going to bring down these oppressors because they act like they don't have. Now, again, they act like they're not guilty of anything. They've had a perpetual hatred for us. That's what Ezekiel 35 verses 4 to 5 says. They've had a perpetual hatred for us. Right? And they just don't show no shame. But the Lord is going to make them ashamed of their actions. We've seen just a little bit of their shame when they were digging up the unalived bodies of our young children from the First Nation who were taken during the 60s scoop and during the times when they would abduct Native American children from their homes and put them in residential schools. There was a clip the other day, Caucasian people are complaining because East Indians are in Brampton having a good old time celebrating whatever celebration they celebrate. And Caucasians like Canada has gone to shit. It's 11 o'clock at night and they're playing loud music and partying. When did Canada go to shit? Was it when y'all were kidnapping Native Americans? Was it when y'all had black people in slavery? Was it when y'all tortured and hung and burned Marie, a black woman who was a slave who tried to escape? Let's keep going. Where are we going to go next, right? Let's jump to Deuteronomy 28. We'll jump to Deuteronomy 28. And we'll go to 49. We'll go to Deuteronomy 28 and 49. As soon as I finish reading what I'm going to read now. Canada does not owe any legal obligations or duties to operate and maintain the Plainton's water systems, says the Statement of Defense. Right? And that's not prideful. I just don't understand. I don't know what prideful is if that's not prideful. Right? What am I going to read right now? This is Deuteronomy 28 and 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth. Right? That sounds like how the oppressors got you. They came from afar, from the other side of the earth. As swift as the eagle. There goes that eagle again, because that's how our oppressors are. They are predators. And they flew across that water like an eagle. Right? They use the eagle or a falcon type bird or an eagle type bird in damn near all their flags. That's how they represent themselves. As swift as the eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. And that shouldn't even have to be explained. Everyone obviously knows when Caucasians came into Canada, they didn't speak the language that the Native Americans spoke. The Native Americans spoke Hebrew, just like we spoke when we were in Africa. Let's keep reading. A nation of fierce continents, which shall not regard the person of the old, right? They don't give a damn if old Native First Nation people have drinking water. Nor show favor to the young. They didn't give a damn that Native Americans don't have drinking water, or that they took their children and put them in residential schools. You would think, just based alone off all the bodies that were dug up from Kamloops, the Canadian government who helped put I can't even say helped. The Canadian government who's responsible for Native American First Nation children going into residential schools, you would think they would say, hey, we put their children in residential schools and abuse them, and there was an electric chair in these schools. You would think they would say, we should just make sure they have clean drinking water because we're criminals. No, the pride of Esau doesn't think like that. They don't think to say we're criminals and we should help these people out. Right? 1 second. What do I want? I want Zechariah. Let me get Zechariah real quick. Let me get Zechariah. I think I'm done with this Deuteronomy. Let me find Zechariah, where I'm going to go next. So we want Zechariah 11 and 5. 11 and 5. Whose possessors slay them. This is talking about Edom. And hold themselves not guilty. That's what we just read, right? Do we not just read that a second ago? They're holding themselves not guilty. Canada does not owe any legal obligations or duties to operate and maintain the Plains water systems. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Canada does not owe any legal obligations or duties to operate and maintain the plaintiff's water systems. That's the spirit of Esau right there. They're telling you they don't owe. We didn't do anything wrong. Well, how did the Native Americans get on reservations? And they that sell and say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Listen, the ISUPK has pity for our brothers and sisters. And we want all our brothers and sisters to come home. And stop thinking you could love the oppressor. The oppressor does not love you. My nigga Natazab, Shalom, Yahweh Hashem Yoshai Barakatah. Right? The oppressor doesn't love you. He's never going to love you at all. Right? And that's what you have to understand. Right? I'm going to read it again. This is the defense of the lawsuit where they're telling you Canada does not owe any legal obligations or duties to operate and maintain the Plains water systems. Right? Again, this article, if you're just tuning in with us, this article is about Canada has no legal obligation to provide First Nations with clean water, lawyers say. And that's how you know the oppressor is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of. Force Native Americans onto reservations all throughout Canada and all throughout the United States, right? Specifically Canada right now, you're going to turn around and tell the Shamatawaz nation that they don't have to give them drinking water. They said they're giving them bottled water out of good governance and not of legal duty. And these are the people that we're supposed to love. How can you love people who don't love you? How does that work? You think you could love this oppressor? This oppressor does not love you. You cannot love the oppressor. Not at all. Where are we? Right. Alana Robert, counsel for the Shemat Tawa, and Hill both told Salakia and Hill told CBC indigenous they aim to change that notion. What First Nation leaders, I think, have made quite clear throughout this litigation is the disappointment and frustration of having to fight yet again for such a basic human right. Now, I'm going to hip y'all to some game. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, you don't have to beg the oppressor for nothing. We got money. You see what we do with the little bit of money that we get in the I.S.U.P.K. We take all of it and go feed and clothe and house our brothers and sisters. Now, what could we do if we did this as a nation? We don't have to go to the Canadian government to make sure we're good. We should be able to do this ourselves. But there's only one way that's going to happen. That is, again, to come home. If you're not willing to come home and stand with Commanding General YAHANNA, you're going to be begging our oppressors for a handout, for a crumb. I'm going to tell you this. Christ is going to come and it's going to switch. But these oppressors are going to be begging for crumbs. Where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? Let's go to Esther, right? I just wanted to show you again because remember, Donald Trump said that the migrants have bad genes. Well, I'm going to again prove to you that if bad genes are in the migrants, bad genes are for sure in our oppressor. That's for sure. You can't even say no. You can't dispute this at all. If bad genes are in the migrants, bad genes are in our oppressors. Now I'm going to show you a story, right? Let's go to the book of Esther. Let me find Esther. Where's Esther? Esther's after Daniel. Let me find the book of Esther real quick for you. Oh, I was totally off. Esther is not after Daniel. It's like before Job. Job. Esther before Job. Right, so we're going to go to the book of Esther, chapter 3, verse 2. And again, this is to show you that our oppressors, you can't love the oppressors. They have a spirit of unaliving us. Not giving our brothers and sisters clean drinking water is that same spirit of unaliving us. It's that they know without clean drinking water, you cannot survive. All right? They know this. You want to know how you know they know this? Because in all the Caucasian neighborhoods, there's clean drinking water. Let's go Esther 3, verse 2. All right? So in the context of this is there's a king, right? There's a king, Ahasuerus. I hate saying that name. Who promoted Haman, one of his people in his court. He promoted him, right? And this man is who you would call the Jewish people today, a Caucasian, an Amalekite, or an Agite. Right? The same people that King Saul was supposed to unalive. And all the king's servants, this is verse 2, and all the king's servants that were in the king's gate bowed and revered and reverenced Haman, because he just got a promotion, right? For the king had so commanded concerning him. But Mordecai, this is a brother, a Benjamite, bowed not, nor did reverence him, because he's not bowing down to no man like that. And you should not either. You should not give reverence to these oppressors like they're anything good. Y'all seen that sister? 1 second. Did y'all see that sister? She was on the internet popping off the other day about how she pays all the bills for her white knight, and she was putting him on blast. She gave reverence to that brother, to that man, to that devil, to later turn around and say he's a piece of shit. Slovakia. Good night. Right? Don't put these cave devils on a pedestal. They should not be there. All right? I'm going to read this real quick so we can get through it. Where were we? Then the king's servants, which were, this is again, Esther chapter 3, verse 3. Then the king's servants, which were in the king's gates, said unto Mordecai, why transgressest thou the king's commandment? Now it came to pass, when they spake daily unto him, and he hearkened not unto them. Mordecai was not going for that. He's not listening. They saying this daily to him. He's like, nah, F that. I am not doing that. They told Haman to see whether Mordecai his matters would stand. All right, they're trying to see if Mordecai is going to continue to do this in front of Haman. For he had told them that he was a Jew. All right. Now remember, one is an oppressor and one is us. Mordecai is us. Haman is the oppressor. The same people that tell you, hey, you gotta step out your car right now as they proceed to beat you down. Right? The same people got up on Breakfast Club and turned around and said, listen, I sell y'all trap music because I gotta eat. Y'all remember when Leor said that? Where were we? And when Haman saw that Mordecai bowed not, nor did him reverence, then was Haman full of wrath. Listen, he was pissed off at this. He was full of wrath. And listen, I said this earlier, when the oppressor is angry at you, he don't just want to unalive you. He wants to unalive your whole nation. I'm going to show you that right now. As we continue reading, you can find this in Esther, the 3rd chapter, right? Where are we? We're in the 6th verse right now. These aren't my words. I'm just reading the Bible. And he thought scorn to lay hands on Mordecai alone. Did he want to lay hands on Mordecai alone? Did Liam Neeson want to just unalive the brother that he was told that sexually abused his friend? No, that's not what happened. Let's read. For they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Remember when Jack Johnson was knocking out all them devils in 1918? What did they do? In 1919, they did the Red Summer. All right? They didn't just try to unalive Jack Johnson. They went into towns and unalived all of us, because that is the spirit of our oppressor. Them knowing that clean drinking water is a basic need. Everybody needs water. You don't drink enough water, your muscles cramp up. Listen, I go play basketball damn near, I don't even want to say religiously, right? But that's a saying. But I play basketball. Whatever I could get a chance to run and play sports, I will play basketball. All right? I'll wake up at 9 a.m. to go play basketball for 4 hours. And if I don't drink enough water, my body starts to cramp up. Them oppressors know that will happen. If you don't get enough drinking water, you are going to be unalive slowly, right? Your health is going to deteriorate. Does the Canadian government care? No, because it's not their legal duty. Was it their legal duty to give Ukraine billions of dollars? If it was their legal duty to give Ukraine billions of dollars, then it's their legal duty to make sure the First Nations have drinking water. Where are we? Let's keep reading. Let's keep reading. Where are we? One second. And he thought, scorned to lay hands on Mordecai alone, right? For they had showed him the people of Mordecai. Wherefore Haman thought to destroy all the Jews. Doesn't that sound like a school shooting? Doesn't that sound like going into the black part of a city and unaliving all the black people you could find in a grocery store? Doesn't that sound like going into black towns and lynching brothers and sisters and burning a cross on their lawns? That is the spirit of our oppressors, right? That is the spirit of our oppressors right there. So we're going to get rid of that, right? The book of Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And who's the wicked? One second. Let's see something. Oh, we back. Okay. I thought it was paused for a second. I'm Salakia. But again, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. And these people, like we read earlier, they hold themselves not guilty. You cannot tell the oppressor he's guilty of any crime. He's going to say, listen, that wasn't me. I am not my ancestors. But you do reap the benefits of the crimes of your ancestors. If you go and buy a stolen TV and the police come to your house looking for that TV and it's in your house, you will get the charge of, if it's not proceeds of crime, it's a charge where they basically say you're in possession of stolen property. That's the charge you will get. So that's the charge I'm charging Caucasians with right now. You're in possession of stolen property, whether it be land or people. All right. So once again, I'm Priest and Officer 1000 Zabaja of the I.S.U.P.K. under Commanding General YAHANNA. Right. This has been another law class. I'm going to read these announcements for you. This has been another law class. Right. I'm going to read our security announcements. We got classes all week on damn near every single I.S.U.P.K. channel. Right. We got a scripture breakdown at headquarters tomorrow, which is Thursday. We'll be celebrating the Day of Atonement coming up Friday the 11th. Let me just make sure. Friday the 11th, October 2024. We are the I.S.U.P.K. started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules to new brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, you can find it Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3 verses 8 to 10. Ma'ai Shara, which means tenth in Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department, or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Up and coming holy convocations is the Day of Atonement. That's the 10th day of the 7th month, February 11th, October 2024. You can find it in Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, verses 27 to 32. Reminder to all Akim and Aqua to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anybody wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, headband, and scarf. With that said, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers and a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M, which means to stand. Men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M, I.M.A.J.M Shabbat, I.M.A.J.M Barak, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahshai Barak Atah. Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Men of Israel, if there's any sisters in your presence, turn to them now. We're going to give them a salute. Men of Israel, I.M.A.J.M, I.M.A.J.M Shabbat, Salakia. I.M.A.J.M means to stand. I.M.A.J.M Shabbat, I.M.A.J.M Barak, Yahweh Shamar Alatham Ba'ashem Yahushai. Yad Yamatah, which means hands down. Dismissed.